The NBA is as exciting as any Hollywood drama. The thing that makes the league so exciting is that teams cannot sit on their wins. The NBA has seen some insane comebacks in the history of the league. So let's take a look at the greatest comebacks in NBA history. Cavaliers come back from 3-1 down. We had to start with this list with the greatest comeback in NBA history. The 73-9 Golden State Warriors looked like the best team in NBA history, with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. How were the Warriors going to be stopped? Well, the Cavaliers really struggled to stop them in the first 4 games. Golden State's 11-point win in Game 4 seemed to pretty much seal the series. Game 5 turned out to be a massive turning point in the series. The Warriors had the chance to win the series on home court, but they were missing Draymond Green due to his flagrant foul towards the end of Game 4. With Andrew Bogut also going down with an injury, the Cavaliers took advantage and won in Game 5. The Cavs defend home court, but the Warriors held home advantage for Game 7. As I'm sure you know, the Warriors collapsed and LeBron's chase down block led to Kyrie Irving hitting the dagger 3 to complete the greatest comeback in NBA history. Nuggets come back in one playoff season, twice. While one 3-1 comeback is impressive, there was one team who did it twice in one single playoff run. Back in the bubble NBA of 2020, the Nuggets started their series against the Utah Jazz down 3-1. Thanks to some insane scoring from Jamal Murray, the Nuggets came back to advance to the conference semifinals. They were once again down 3-1 in the second round, this time to the Clippers. But Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic turned that series around as well. It was an incredibly impressive feat, probably helped by the fact that neither team had the home advantage, because there were no fans. Unlike the Cavs, the Nuggets' 3-1 comeback didn't lead to more success, as they lost 4-1 in the conference finals. That was just one comeback too far for the Nuggets. Lob City gets embarrassed. The Clippers team of the 2010s was one of the most exciting teams in the league's history. Who didn't love watching Lob City dunk on everyone in the league? That was working well for the Clippers in 2015, having made it past the reigning champion San Antonio Spurs in the first round. In the second round, LA took a 3-1 lead over the James Harden and Dwight Howard-led Houston Rockets. While the Clippers were exciting in the attack, their defense fell apart in games 5, 6, and 7. The Rockets scored an average of 119 points in the final 3 games, as James Harden spurred the Rockets to a spectacular 3-1 comeback. Heat overcome the Spurs in 2013. Despite being the reigning champions, the Miami Heat were finding defending their title very difficult against the loaded San Antonio Spurs team. Coming off the back of a grueling 4-3 conference finals victory over the Pacers, the Heat started the series poorly, with their Game 1 loss to the Spurs starting the series poorly. With the Spurs defending home court, the Heat were down 3-2 in the series, looking unlikely to defend their title. That is when the Miami Heat started one of the best comebacks in NBA history. In a brilliant Game 6, the Heat were down 7 points, with 10 minutes to go. Down 5 with just 30 seconds to go, the officials had started bringing out the yellow tape to prepare to give the trophy to the Spurs. But Ray Allen ruined those plans with a phenomenal 3-pointer to tie the game and send it to overtime. With LeBron pulling out the victory in overtime, the Heat won in Game 7 to complete a brilliant comeback. The Heat and Knicks overcome 3-1. The Miami Heat and New York Knicks met in the playoffs 4 times in a row in the 1990s, but the Heat had to complete a brilliant comeback to win one of those matchups. The solid and physical defense of the Knicks squashed the Heat in the first 4 games of the conference semifinals in 1997. Miami were able to defend on home court in Game 5, but Game 6 was the really big game in the series. Alonzo Mourning had the best game of his series, putting up 28 points and 9 rebounds. In Game 7, the Heat were able to overcome the Knicks team. While it was a phenomenal accomplishment, there was an incident which tipped the scales in the Heat's favor. There was a fight in Game 5 between Charlie Ward and PJ Brown, which led to some of the Knicks coming off the bench. This led to suspensions, which gave the Heat the advantage and produced one of the best comebacks in NBA history. The Clippers overturn a 35-point deficit. It is not just in playoff series where the NBA sees incredible comebacks. There have been some truly insane individual game comebacks. In 2022, the undermanned LA Clippers were being smacked by the Washington Wizards. At one point, the Wizards' lead extended to a whopping 35 points. That has got to be too much for a comeback, right? Well, the Clippers did not stop fighting and started to close on the Wizards' lead. But with just 10 seconds remaining, the Clippers were still down 6 points. The fight did not stop from the Clippers, with Luke Kennard nailing a three-pointer to tie the game with just 2 seconds remaining. A 4-point play to win the game is the perfect way to round up a 35-point comeback. An absolutely insane comeback from the Clippers. Celtics overcome a 32-point deficit. The Boston Celtics had a similarly impressive comeback in the regular season just 2 years ago. On home court, the full-loaded Celtics gave up a massive 30-point lead to a pretty bad San Antonio Spurs team. The Spurs lead was a whopping 29 points at halftime, but the Celtics completely turned the game around in the second half. While the whole team improved, the Celtics comeback was really spurred on by the best performance in Jason Tatum's career. Tatum would finish the game with 60 points, more than the 4 other Celtics starters combined. While Tatum was by far the Celtics' best player, it was Jaylen Brown's three-pointer with 20 seconds to go, which gave the Celtics a lead they would not give up. An insane comeback made even better by the Celtics being able to get the job done in overtime. Tracy McGrady 13 points in 35 seconds. Having an entire half to produce a comeback makes things a little bit easier, so imagine how hard it is to produce a comeback with just 40 seconds remaining. That was the situation facing Tracy McGrady in 2004, with his Houston Rockets down 8 points with less than 40 seconds remaining. While team comebacks are impressive, McGrady carried his team on his back for those 40 seconds. He ended the fourth quarter by scoring 13 points in the final 35 seconds of the game. Do you know how impressive that is to do? McGrady had a 4-point play within those points as well, while being guarded by Tim Duncan nonetheless. The Spurs were crumbling, and they fumbled the ball with a 2-point lead and less than 10 seconds remaining in the game. It gave McGrady the chance for one more shot, and he nailed another 3-pointer. While being double-teamed, the Rockets would hold on, and the Rockets would pull off one of the greatest comebacks that you will ever see. An insane individual performance from Tracy McGrady. Reggie Miller's 8 points in 9 seconds. Reggie Miller had a similar game to McGrady in 1995 against the New York Knicks. With 20 seconds left in the game, the Pacers were down 6 points. Miller's three-pointer closed the lead down to 3. But the Knicks fumbled their inbound pass, and it ended up in the hands of Reggie Miller. Having dribbled past the 3-point line, Miller drained another 3-pointer just a couple of seconds after cutting the lead. At this point, the game was tied, and Knicks player John Starks missed 2 free throws, and in the ensuing chaos, someone made the mistake of fouling Miller. The clutch shooter nailed both of the free throws to give the Pacers the unlikely lead over the Knicks. After another fumble from the Knicks, the Pacers held on to win the game. 8 points in just 9 seconds for Miller inspired one of the best comebacks in NBA history. So, what do you think is the best comeback in NBA history? Why not put your thoughts in the comments down below?